your baby's close to you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Currie.
Hello? Oh, nothing more creepier than a freaking shaft. Hello? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. How is everybody doing? Fix this camera just a little bit. Here we go. Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. Just gonna go over a couple of things real quick, and then we'll get started here. Sorry, it's as you can see, what I've got up is what's causing me to delay right now. This is kind of behind the scenes of the madness that is me and putting videos together. This is my OpenShot video editor that I use. It's free, and these are all these little video clips that I put together, and then all the audio, and this is kind of any video that I put together, this is the program that I use. And so yeah, so we're just waiting for that to finish because it's got the drone footage and the interview on it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. While that finishes, we will quickly shout out just a couple people. And that is Crystal V and Crystal R for their Cash App donations. And then Nina and Wendy for the Venmo. This is for the other day when we went out there. Thank you guys so much. And then, of course, Tom N, Raina, and Donna for the PayPal. You guys are awesome. Like I said, we couldn't go out there without the support of you guys. You guys are so amazing. So thank you guys so much for helping us get out there and search for Dylan. This time we actually went out there with a rent-a-car, which was nice. Although we almost didn't get a vehicle because I didn't realize it's the middle of summer, or kind of towards the end of summer, and all the vehicles are gone. I went to go to Enterprise to rent a vehicle. Well, I called them up, and there's like nobody. Nobody had a vehicle. And luckily I called Avis, and I got like the cheapest vehicle, but they ended up, I was supposed to get like a Toyota Camry, which was fine, but we ended up getting a Toyota RAV4, which is a 2021, which was like an amazing vehicle. And I'm not here to brag about that car, but that was a very nice car, and the gas mileage was amazing. Just want to put that out there. Like, holy cow, amazing car. So, but yeah, it was great. I was expecting a Toyota Camry or something like it, and we got the basically the top tier of what they had, because they didn't have many vehicles, and so it was nice to have an SUV to go out there. So Yeah, Pamela's got a RAV4 2016. It was amazing. Like I said, any Toyota would have been fine, but that RAV4 was amazing. So, all right, this is almost finished. Let's get into the missing, and then let's see. Just real quick for mods, I know there's a few of you maybe you don't know the commands yet, so I'm going to email everybody and let you know the Nightbot commands just in case if you don't know them. And if you can, try to stick with the commands, that way we don't overdo like my merchandise or my PayPals, because we don't want to look like we're spamming it. But I know you guys just do it because you guys care and you're trying to help support me. But I will try to, for those that don't know, if you want to email me, but I will make sure I'll email you guys so we can get that. All right, so this is almost done. It's at 99%, and have that ready to go here in just a minute. So we've got, like I said, new drone footage, all new drone footage. Also with the interview that Salty Pancakes did, I believe yesterday. There's like 2 interviews, and I kind of snipped a little bit from each one, because there's some very interesting info as far as talking about where they found because we as far as we know that we thought the key fob was missing along with his gun, but from what Kurt says, that's they found those like the first day when they went out there. So we'll go over that, and you guys can decide. Obviously, it's coming from Kurt. Honestly, the more I listen to Kurt, I'll be honest, I don't think he was involved, and that's just my opinion. The more I listen to him, it feels like he did care for Dylan. But we'll talk about that more in just a minute. Thank you, Sheila, so much for the $5. Have a great day and be safe on your journey. Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to be going out there for a little while unless we get like a decent lead. It takes a lot out of us to go out there every week. I mean, I wish we could do it, to be honest, but and the mom, Dylan's mom, just released an interview. Okay, maybe if we get some time, we'll check that out as well. Interesting. Do we know where she put the interview out? Channel by chance? Definitely like to check that out, but we'll start out with his interview, and then if we get time, we'll definitely take a look into that. And thank you so much, Cheryl, for the $1.49. You're awesome. Okay, so let me get this out of the way here. And before, let me see, I'm just getting the link now here. All right, so let me cut up on that. All right. Okay, so and then also I'm gonna get on like a regular schedule as well. So that's one thing I haven't had on this channel is like a regular schedule. One of the reasons why is I am in like a tiny room. I'm going to be expanding into a new room in a couple weeks, and plus we have some kids here, and they're going to be leaving after the summer, and so I'm going to kind of get a regular schedule going to like 3 or 4 weeks, and probably somewhere around this time, maybe an hour later, but we'll definitely let you guys know when we get that all set up. So first, before we get into the new footage and everything, let's get into the missing. So here, this is a request I got. Rocky K9. I sent you a link for the Candace interview on your last video in the comments. Sent you a link to Candace. Okay. Yeah, if you want to send it to me via email, I'll see if maybe I can find it. We'll get it. We'll get to it for sure. But thank you guys. I appreciate your kind of helping me out. So, oh, it's East Idaho. Okay, I'll be able to find it. If it's East Idaho news, then we'll definitely take a look at that. Interesting. Oh, and great question too. Yeah, there's so much. Like I said, when we go out there, it puts me so behind because I got to catch up on everything. Yes, my 1-year anniversary is Sunday. I said Monday last week. It's actually Sunday. So we will be doing a big live show on Sunday, which I think works a lot better for everybody. We'll do like a 2 or 3 hour, because I usually don't like to do long lives, because that way people can kind of go back and rewatch it. But we'll probably have some fun, and kind of look back at where I started, have some guests on, like Grizzly True Crime, and I'm going to try to reach out to a couple other people. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So this Sunday, the 1 year anniversary. Crazy. I can't believe it's been 1 year. So thank you, Deb, for the super sticker. You're awesome. All right, you guys are amazing. All right, so let's get into the missing. This is Skylar Lee, Leah Page, goes by Sky. She was 16 at the time. She went missing July 17th, so that was 5 days ago, from Hagerstown in Maryland. And she is curly blonde. It looks like she's kind of got some kind of color in her hair. She got orange and pink streaks in her hair. Green hazel eyes, 5'6", $130, and she was last seen wearing black sweatpants, hoodie, white cami, and tennis shoes. And it looks like she has a lip piercing, upper lip with a smiley, and a 555 wrist tattoo. Her location, Montgomery County, Glenmont, Silver Spring, and Wheaton. And so here are the numbers down there to call. Just went missing 5 days ago, and here's a... Oh, that is definitely not her. There we go. There's a close-up of her. So just 16, just went missing in Hagerstown. Hope I said that right. Hagers? And I don't know why he keeps swapping up. And then one more that was requested to me. Christopher Lynn Halverson. Now this is a very old case. This is maybe something I might cover down the road, as like dive deeper into it. But he went missing in '98, in April of 17, in Madison County, Idaho. So that's just north of us here. So he was so 79. He would be 43. Let's see. If he went missing in 98, he would have been 19 at the time. So just 18 years old at the time. So just 18 years old when he went missing. It looks like he was up in a campground area up there in Madison County. Camping with 8 friends and went missing. So let's see if I can zoom in. I was trying to get a kind of a better close-up picture of his face, but obviously since this is back in '98, there's not a lot of pictures of him. So that's Christopher, went missing in Idaho. All right. Yeah, so many missing. Yeah, when you start getting into this category, and when it comes to missing, it is tough. You really get your start to realize just how many people actually go missing, and then when you look at the statistics, it's crazy. So, all right, guys, let's get into our journey, and we let me just give you a small little context, and we'll definitely take a look at that new interview. I'm actually very curious about that interview. Actually, I'm going to pull this up real quick just so we don't forget. So, East Idaho News. Okay, so it's a 15-minute interview. Interesting. What do you guys think? Should we check it out and then we'll get into the drone footage? I'm kind of curious about this. Let's see what she has to say.
I'm Nate Eaton here with Candace Cooley. She is Dylan Round's mother. And Candace, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 months since he disappeared. Of course, if you're watching, you probably are very aware of this case, but we wanted to have Candace in here to get an update and talk about Dylan's birthday, which is coming up here in just a few weeks.
August 1st.
So first of all, what can you tell us? What is new?
So what we know, there's stuff that we as just Justin and I as mom and dad know. There is stuff going on. I know everybody thinks it's become this big stall and we're not out there searching and we're not having search parties, but there's a reason for that. We have information that we don't want to be out there searching. We don't want people out there searching because there is stuff behind the scenes that just can't be released to the public right now. But there's a reason.
So that you're saying on the law enforcement side
Correct.
of things are happening.
Yeah.
we do know that there's 2 people that lived in the area.
But I don't think they would have found the body. If they found the body, they would have to release that. So I think they found... I honestly... And I'm going to have to pause and talk over this, because then if not, then they'll strike me. So I do have to kind of pause and... but like I said, when we went out there the second time, the FBI had been out there for almost... Because the FBI, the first time we went out there was week 2, and the FBI showed up just after we were there. They showed up basically towards the end of week 2. And when we got there the second time, and the FBI was there, you know, we kind of took a picture of the grain shed and everything while they were there and stuff. You can't see anything. You can barely see some heads bobbing, but and I was talking to one of the families that live out there, and they clearly had found something on that property. I'd always kind of figured there's something that they'd found, and I kind of mentioned it, and I kind of accidentally said, a murder scene. I should have said that, but like a crime scene or some kind of evidence, really is what I should have said. I think they found some kind of evidence. I am definitely almost like 100% confident, in my opinion, that they found something at that grain shed as far as like maybe kind of what happened, in my opinion, because they were out there for a long time just in that location, just by around. So I think there was something that was that went down right there, in my opinion.
We're in the area. Chase Venstra, who has appeared in court, and then we have the other neighbor who was James Brenner.
Correct.
So can you tell people who are just tuning in how those guys knew your son and about the charges?
Yeah, so James, I know him as Jim, he helped Dylan. Day work, off and on. He helped him in southern Idaho take apart his pivot. He lived out on the property. He squatted out on the property when Dylan first discovered the area when he was like 15. He might have been 16 years old. So just a work acquaintance. I mean, you know, when you're out there and you've only got 6 people around you, you kind of get to know everybody. So that's how him and Jim, it was just, he'd help him on the farm when he needed it. As far as Chase, I never heard Dylan say that man's name, ever, until all this happened. I have no clue. I don't think they knew each other. I mean, probably just in passing from being in Montello and stuff. I did find out that Chase's son helped Dylan last summer on some day work, I believe when they were putting in the main line, but not Chase. And that was just one of the run into him in the Montello store and say, hey, you want to come out and help? I'm looking for help. But other than that, I never heard Dylan say Chase's name.
Okay, so James Brenner, it sounds like he's a felon, and so when the police went out to just serve a search warrant around the time that Dylan disappeared, they found weapons in his trailer.
Correct.
And he, as a felon, you're not allowed to own weapons. So he's been arrested. So he's been charged with possessing a firearm as a felon.
Correct.
And he's in custody in Utah. And then Chase Venstra also is in custody on firearms charges.
Yeah, and his charges, the last I know, and that may be the court appearance you heard about yesterday, was now the firearms that were in Chase's motorhome have been traced back to being stolen. And so now it goes a step higher, because not only were you a felon with firearms, but you had stolen ones, which they're pretty sure he stole.
So you've got these 2 characters that lived out there. Do you think that they know what happened to Dylan? Or,
So Chase didn't live out there.
Or Chase did not live out there.
Mm-mm.
But he was visiting?
He would.
Yeah, from what I understand, he didn't live out there, but he was definitely frequent that area.
Go back and forth between Montello and Ogden, and what we were told, and that's just what we were told, is he'd go over, steal stuff from Montello, hurry up, jump the border, go back to Ogden and sell it.
Okay.
That's what we were told by everybody, hence the stolen firearms.
And I guess, I appreciate you making that clear, because the way I think that we understand it is he may have had contact with Dylan around the time Dylan disappeared.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's more here in connection to your son?
I believe so. I mean, Brenner has been listed as an official suspect. In the affidavit that was served to get the warrant on Chase, they listed a homicide investigation. That was in the affidavit, and that's thrown up a lot of questions with people. So, I did clarify that with law enforcement. So Chase was set to be extradited to Montana.
Yeah, they keep pushing his trial and stuff back too, because I thought he'd had something on the 16th or 17th, and then they keep pushing it back. To find some more information on that when his next thing is.
And they didn't want that happening. So not wanting that happening tells me something right there. We honestly haven't been told, but that's when they went in and got the search warrant. So in that affidavit, they put in, how'd they word that, conjunction with a homicide investigation. Come to find out, you can put anything you want in an affidavit for a warrant. None of it has to be true, but it's what you can put in it and kind of prove to get a judge to sign it faster. And that's what held Chase here.
Okay, so I guess we could summarize it by saying the police obviously believe that these guys might know something.
Correct.
Or that they're tied into it. But again, they have not to this point been charged. There's been some questions online that we can address with you. The first one being, why did Dylan go to this remote area, not in the state where he was living here in Idaho, in high school? Explain what took him to this area.
Okay, so like I said, I gotta kind of pause and talk a little bit. So I obviously know the answer to this question. I think a lot of us probably do if you've been following this case, but obviously his grandparents bought him this land because he wanted to do some farming, and it was kind of the cheapest land. Unfortunately, it was not a great place to have a young kid out there. Sadly, probably they just didn't do the research, when it came to that, and was just trying to please the kid. And, obviously he's just ahead of his time. So, he's kind of even though he's 19 years old, he's, much mature, and he just wants to work. And so, and the land was cheap, obviously, because they didn't think they could grow anything, so it wasn't worth as much. But if he grew something, it would obviously increase the value, and that was kind of the idea.
So we're catching a lot of criticism. A lot of people say we dumped our son out there. That is ridiculous. Dylan heard about this place from another gentleman that he'd worked with off and on, went and checked it out. It was perfect for him. He never had to worry about houses getting moved in on him. Dylan didn't want to go work for a big farmer. Dylan wanted to be a big farmer. So when he decided to do this and go out to Lucin, there's no competition. You got water rights, you got good soil, you just got to, make the alkali even out a little bit. You got everything you want being a young kid coming up wanting to make your own farm. Dylan couldn't buy ground here in eastern Idaho. Dylan can buy ground in southern Idaho. I mean, you're 10,000, 15,000 an acre. He wasn't thrown out into the desert. He found a place he could farm, and he was helped. Everybody enabled and helped him to make that dream come true. Not dump him out in the desert. I mean, and it was perfect because when Dylan finally got enough stuff together and he was able to go out there and make a go of it and farm is when COVID hit, so there was no school. He didn't have to go to school. It was canceled. It was perfect for him. It was like everything fell into place.
And I think a lot of people might see the area and think that's not farmland because it's not lush brown soil with trees and crops. But he wasn't farming vegetables. He wasn't farming
Correct.
corn.
And see, that whole area was developed, it was 14 years ago they pulled out. And I've been told it was Simplots that were there. I have never called to confirm that because I have no reason to. But like where the grain shed was and where Jim's trailer was and all that, there's like 20 hookups for water. For power, that's where all the farm help out there lived in their campers in the summer. It's not like this place has never been farmed before. It's just when the last people left, nobody's even realized it was there to go out and farm it, and Dylan has. He figured it out.
So he went out there. The other thing that that a lot of people have asked is that he was involved in some romantic relationship
Right.
with one or more of the men out there.
Yeah, and when this all started, any crazy idea. I mean, we were in such a frantic and we didn't have the help we needed. We're not professionals at this. We didn't know what to do. We listened to everything, and you know, that information came from a very unreliable source. There is no ground to it whatsoever. There is not a single person who actually knows Dylan that you can say that to that doesn't laugh. You know, it's all, that rumor mill started going, and when you're a parent and you're not getting help, you go to anybody, the YouTubers, all of this stuff that we did that's got this fire started. We didn't know any better. You know, we were just trying to get it out there to get help, and so then it's just turned into a circus, and if people want to follow the circus, they can follow it. But that doesn't help us find Dylan. And none of it's true. You know, rumors and speculation is ridiculous when we have evidence and facts. So that's what us as a family are sticking to, and just staying out of the big circus all these other people have created that don't know any of us.
There were some questions too a few weeks ago, maybe it was around the 4th of July, where you and Box Elder Sheriff's Office, and I believe Elko too, had said, please don't go out there and search.
Correct.
And some people were saying, well, if it was my kid.
Yeah, so like I said, of course, you know, we've been out there searching, but ever since they put out that release, you know, we've stayed far away from Lucin. There is tons of other areas to search, so we stuck with that. The first 2 times we went out there, we obviously searched near the grain shed and kind of around that area, about 5-10 mile radius, and then our last 2 times we have focused on kind of the northeast area of Lucin, kind of because you know we've talked about, and we'll talk about it in a little bit about Park Valley and how FBI was up in that you know, scoping out that town as well.
Kid, I'd be out there searching nonstop. Why don't they want help with the search?
Right.
Can you address that?
So what people got to realize is the FBI and Box Elder have been out there, and they have been gathering stuff from the soil, from that immediate. They have been.
Oh, was it? Rocky says, I was expecting any verbal appreciation from Candace for your, Chris, and Nick's efforts to find Dylan, but no words. I will say this. I guess Jazz, the one that runs the Facebook, they've had sent me messages because, you know, the first time I sent our first trip, I sent all the drone footage to the Facebook to kind of like, you know, because they were kind of putting like a log together of where all the places had been searched, and so I was doing that, and plus I just figured that would add some comfort to know, hey, these areas have been checked. And so they did say, you know, Jazz said, you know, they appreciated it. I think maybe they just kind of are just, you know, staying quiet. I don't want to assume, but you know, but I do appreciate that, Rocky K9. You know, I think most people appreciate what we've been out there doing. But I know Jazz has said something that, you know, that I think the family kind of knows, but, you know, maybe it's just trying to kind of stay behind everything just because it is kind of hectic with everything kind of coming out.
All over it. They've had more heavy equipment out there. They've had more dogs out there. They have been all over it. You take somebody who's untrained and just think they're going to go out there and be the hero. They're stepping over the stuff that the FBI and Box Elder County are now gathering, and Elko and you know, all these law enforcement agents that are now involved. Us going out there, civilians, we just ruined stuff. I mean, the whole crime scene, the whole scene, we call the crime scene now, was so tainted from the beginning because of how it was handled. Everything that's there needs to be preserved.
Okay, not to bash the family, but I think it's everybody's got a little blame when it comes to the initial scene, because it sounds like they're the ones that kind of rushed to bust into the truck. But then again, you know, I don't think they were realizing that their son was actually missing. They were just trying to look for answers. But I think, yeah, that's just a tough situation.
And I am sorry, you're not going to go out and go walking through that desert and just stumble across my son, because we have been everywhere. Horses, dogs, air, ATVs, search and rescue. I mean, I think we had, 6 choppers out there, multiple planes. I mean, we have covered it. Now that we've gathered evidence, it's kind of taken a different direction. And we need to let it go that direction and not destroy it.
I know you caught that too, huh? I know, I don't want to say too much on that, but yeah, that's kind of interesting she said that. We'll have to maybe dissect this. I wasn't planning on this interview, so... because I've got so much more prepared for us. So, but yeah, it'd be nice to kind of go back and dissect this interview for sure.
Dylan's birthday's coming up.
Yes.
20th?
20th.
On August 1st. And what is that like, knowing that, well, let's hope he's here.
Right, yeah.
For his birthday.
Yeah, hopefully he's here. We've had so many people reach out and asking, so that's why we decided to do the seed tribute.
Yeah, talk about that.
So we're gonna do, we want to do sunflowers because Dylan loves sunflowers. How big they'd grow. He'd grow the giant ones when he was younger. So we were gonna do those, but it's a little late in our season. So that's why we went with the black eye Susans, because they kind of look the same. And just we've got people from Australia to South America that have reached out. So we'll have Scotty's and Rigby, some of our local stores in the Hazelton Magic Valley area. I have some help in the Box Elder area. We'll put the packets together, distribute them as best we can, and then for those who can't get their hands on them, just plant something for them.
Do you remember what you did on his 19th birthday last year?
He was farming. Grain harvest. Yeah,
So he was working.
He was working, yep. Yeah, when he was younger, we'd do fireworks. I'd go to Jackson. We'd do fireworks all the time. But he was always in the fields. I mean, he was born during grain harvest, and he's always in the fields on his birthday. Find him and give him lunch. You could tell him, come on, son, I'll take you wherever you want to go. No, I'm working. Okay.
Well, I know when there's missing people's cases, in the beginning, you think of every scenario possible. Right. Are they alive? Are they dead? Where could they be hiding? Are they kidnapped? Whatever it may be. And when those court documents came out that said homicide.
Yeah, she is kind of speaking in past tense a little bit. I don't know. I like I said, obviously she knows probably a little bit more than we do as far as certain things. And like I said, they were at that location for quite a bit. Like I said, I really think they found something that's... I mean, they've labeled this a homicide case. I mean, I think there's got to be some reasons to why you would label this, a homicide investigation.
Homicide investigation. And when you've learned more and more that the public may not know, what has the feeling been like in your mind?
Honestly, to have Box Elder switch it and say those words has been a relief, because what needs to be done is getting done. We pretty much all knew from the first day we went out there, and I know people think that's horrible to say, and nobody wanted to believe it, especially us. Justin and I, we didn't want to believe it, but we both know our son, and we know nothing would take him away from his farm. Absolutely nothing. Not even for a day. He had to get the rest of that seed in the ground. Nothing would have taken him away from there. So it was just one of those gut feelings where you don't want it to be true. It's your parents' worst nightmare. But when you have a kid like Dylan, and his patterns and his drive and his passion has been there, since he was a little kid, and that's his baby, we knew he wouldn't leave. There's no way. Not just not leave, but leave without his pickup. Leave without his boots. All the stuff was right in front of us from day one. It was all right there.
So
Yes. That is an interesting statement right there. The key fob, and we'll talk more about it here as we listen to the Kurt Wadsworth interview. But there's a lot of things that we thought were missing, but they were there. They just, unfortunately, I know maybe we're kind of scatterbrained, and but yeah, they have apparently they found the key fob, the gun. They were both in the trailer. They were just kind of, we've seen pictures of the trailer, and as a matter of fact, Kurt Wadsworth, and we'll listen to the interview, talks about he was there when they apparently broke into the truck, and He says, and he saw the pictures of the trailer, and he says, yeah, that's kind of how Dylan had kept his trailer, because he never really used that trailer that much, because he was usually working or spending time in Montello as far as spending the night and stuff. But yeah, we'll go over that here in a bit.
Yeah.
We wait. There's a lot of stuff being processed. So hopefully that'll give us a few more answers. There's been some stuff that has been processed that's given us some answers. And we hope one of these two guys talks.
And we know that so far Dylan has not been found.
Correct.
But again, his birthday's August 1st.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let's play that again.
Dylan has not been found.
Wait, let me go back just a little bit. Oh, let me catch this real quick. I had a daughter go missing for 5 months. Oh my gosh. Law enforcement refused to file a missing person because she was almost 30. They said she was not a child. I said, she's my child. I called every morgue. Oh gosh, oops, I missed it. Push down. I called every morgue in a 500-mile radius. Oh my gosh, Shay, I'm so sorry. So, you did find her, I hope? So she was missing for 5 months and they found her, I hope. This was a good ending, but yes, I can only imagine calling every morgue and hospital. Yeah, that is scary. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for the $10 though. Oh, you're awesome, but so sorry to hear that story. Jeez. So yeah, this is interesting.
There's a lot of stuff being processed. So hopefully that'll give us a few more answers. There's been some stuff that has been processed that's given us some answers. And we hope one of these two guys talks.
And we know that so far Dylan has not been found.
Correct.
But
Okay.
again, his birthday's August 1st, so
So they just confirmed that he's not been found, I guess.
they're
Right.
packets of seeds.
Yep.
And you're asking people that are interested to plant them in his honor.
Yeah, and like I said, there'll be Scotty's and Rigby. They'll have a couple thousand of them, and they'll kind of be everywhere. And people can go to the Facebook page and request them. And you don't have to get the ones from us. Just we've got trees dedicated to them. I mean, we've got people have just. I mean, they love the kid.
How have you all been holding up? I mean, it's been 2 months. There's a
Yeah.
lot of nasty commenters, people saying stuff online. How has your family been?
We're okay. We're the comments, the focus that has come on to, especially.
So I just got to speak on that. Being a YouTuber, comments are the worst. Ever since I've been picking up on my YouTube and everything, and my last like 4 or 5 doctor visits, my blood pressure's been kind of up. Not like bad, but it's just been up. And my doctor's been like, I kind of noticed your blood pressure's been up since, like 3 or 4 months ago. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I do YouTube. For the most part, it's amazing, but the comment section can be very nasty. Very nasty. Even when you're going out and searching for somebody, it's amazing the comments you'll get. It blows my mind. Just some people are just I just don't understand some people. But yeah, it's tough. Comments it is tough to be a YouTuber, I'll be honest with you. It is very tough. And I could only imagine the comments that have been towards her and the family, so it is. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, it's Laugh House because I do YouTube. Oh yeah, I bet your blood pressure. I mean, oh yeah, I've always had great. I would say decent blood pressure. I wouldn't say I'm a skinny kid, but I'm light. I still weigh 200 pounds, but I'm 6'3". But yeah, I've never really had a problem with blood pressure. And then, like I said, my doctor, last time I went, he's like, man, I've noticed the last 4 months your blood pressure has been kind of high. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I do YouTube. It's tough. It is tough. It's a great thing, but at the same time, I don't think some people realize it could take a lot out of you. It could be mentally draining. Oh, big time. Big time.
Especially me. That was driven by me. I'm the one who caused the fire to get the focus off of the negativity towards Dylan. I'm fine. People can say whatever they want. The people who know me know me. The people, like I said, that want to follow the circus, they should be ashamed. You know, you're talking about a young man missing, and you...
I'm sorry, I gotta pause this. Copper Horse, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. 50 mob crew memberships? Oh my gosh, you are so awesome. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. Please show some love to Copper Horse. I think just about everybody that's here is gonna has a great chance to be a member now. Get all the perks to being a member. You get the emojis and stuff. So click on the little present, I think, right? Or is it automatic? I still don't understand the gifted. I really don't. But that's awesome. Okay, chat's gonna go nuts. All right, we're almost done with the interview, and then we're gonna get on to the drone footage, and just got some amazing stories that we ran into, and so thank you, Copper Horse. Please show her some love. That's awesome.
You are out there pointing fingers about the parents and their past and stuff that's just so ridiculous. Like, I abandoned my kids for 3 years. No. I mean, it's astronomical, the stuff that people come up with and want to believe. The kids have been back and forth between me and Justin since we got divorced 15 years ago. You know, just all of this craziness that's been portrayed onto the family, it did what we wanted. It took it off of Dylan. I mean, these YouTube videos now, all this stuff that's going on, they don't even hardly mention Dylan's name. You know, they're on a witch hunt for the family. So I guess if that makes people feel like they're doing something to help bring Dylan home, there's no sense in even trying to dispute it with them, because they got their mind made up, and it doesn't help any of us.
And you all have one official Facebook page.
Yes.
With official updates that you can follow.
Yep.
And we, of course, will continue to follow it here as things develop, and hopefully there will be big developments soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
Okay, interesting interview. Thank you guys for letting me know about that. And I'm just going to turn the chat down just a notch here, because it is kind of going crazy. We've got about 1,000 people in here. So let me, before we get into the second half of the show here, well, still kind of the first half. Okay, I'm going to do 35 seconds. Let me know, Jennifer, in about 5 minutes how that is. If it's slow, then we'll kick it down to 30. Let's see how that is, because it's kind of flying now. All right. Okay. So, a very interesting interview. I wish I could dissect that, but we've got so much more to get into. So let's just jump right in, so we keep it going here. So, okay. All right. So I have the video up. So. All right. And let me pull up Google Earth just to kind of show you guys. It's okay on your end? Okay. Cool. All right, yeah, I just kicked it up to 35, so I think that should be just right. Okay, so just to kind of give you guys an overview of where we're kind of checking out, so you guys can get an idea here. Let me move this over just a little bit so you guys can see it here. Stuff's going off, everything good? Okay. All right, so here's Lucin right here, guys. And you got the grain truck, the grain shed, excuse me, which is actually kind of like a shop, and we'll hear about that in a bit. And then we got where his actual farm is over here, 5 miles east. And we did a lot of searching the first 2 times we went out there. All these little red areas you see is where we kind of flew the drone. These are kind of a guesstimation, not exact, but it's pretty close. But these are little areas that we checked out. And then the big news, I wouldn't say big news, but when we kind of learned of, obviously she even talked about it, Chase or Jim, the 2 people that are in custody, may know something. And Chase, apparently, he was kind of out in Montello during before Dylan went missing. Then that Saturday, he apparently conveniently showed himself at a Little Caesars in North Ogden. But then apparently made it back into Montello shortly after because he was spotted apparently, or he was with a buddy that he hangs out with as well, who is Robert Aviles. And so, and then at some point, Chase was apparently picked up around mile marker 53. Well, mile marker 53 is actually right around here. And that is actually where Park Valley is. And of course, Park Valley is where the FBI were at during basically week 2 into week 3. And so there's got to be some reason that's brought them out to that particular area. They may have found something or tracking a lead. And so then with everything with the parents kind of coming out, well, first, the context really is that Box Elder put out a statement first saying, hey, please kind of don't do any conducting searches around the Lucin area while we're conducting our investigation. Then the family put out a response either the same day or the day after, kind of just saying the same thing. So once that came out, then we kind of changed our game plan, and like you said, there's plenty of areas to search without ever being in their way. And so we kind of followed this lead here. And so just before the interview starts, this is us actually driving on Highway 30, which, you only have 2 ways to go when you're in, as far as Lucin. You can go west into Montello, which will take you to the 277, or you can go east and it'll take you to Highway 30, this is Highway 30. And we're coming up on Park Valley right now. Actually, well, we're in Park Valley, but so I'm going to show you just exactly where we are. Let me play just a little bit more, and then the drone footage is coming up in just a second. We just kind of wanted to show you because we kind of told everybody we're going to check out the Bovine Mountains and a few other things. So, of course, personally, it's too slow now. Okay, all right. Let me do 30. So that's in between two. Okay. Okay, give me just a second. Okay. Alright, that should be good. Let me know. Okay, so this is pretty kind of neat. Just a little something. And I've got tons of stuff for the members. So if you're a member, and we've got plenty of new members, we're going to have tons of new member-only videos coming out soon. We always get extra footage when we go out. So let me just show you real quick, and then the interview is going to start. So this is literally, if you zoom in Park Valley, we are literally at this intersection right here. Now, as you can see, this is mile marker 53 is right here. So we are literally basically actually less than 2 miles from mile marker 53. So I think 54 is like right here, and 55 is somewhere right here. But we are right here, pulled in this area right here. Oops. So and then we kind of got out and checked out.
The kid got.
Okay. So our first place, we went up into the Bovine Mountains because we thought, hey, you just take if you went on a Highway 30 east and you just took one of those roads up north, they're all lead right up to Bovine. And is it possible they just kind of went up there and dumped them off by chance? So we took the drone up there. And actually, one of our first places that we took the drone, as you guys know, we did actually end up almost losing the drone. This is the area that we almost broke the drone. We were so lucky. And okay, so what we're going to be playing is the interview with Salty Pancake. It's with Kurt. I think he kind of explains a few things, which is very interesting. That's kind of some new stuff that I haven't heard. Of course, I'm trying to catch up when we go on. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, they got this new thing. I was wondering what the button did. I had to press it because I am sorry, guys. They put a new button literally like days ago, and I'm like, what is this? It keeps lighting up. So yeah, I guess you can play an ad for your live. Like it'll pop up. Was it like a full ad? Did it like take away from my video? Kind of curious. Yeah, I wouldn't do that again. I was kind of curious what that was. So. I love you all, Monsters and Chris. Thank you so much, Michelle. You're so awesome, and thank you for all your hard work. Okay, here we go.
The tweakers heard about it, and they went for it. They thought he would have some money in his pocket.
Okay, so here they're talking about the motive, and I think to me is honestly the best probably motive on the table, and that is, people hearing that you got $30,000, and people start talking, and of course he didn't have it on him, but they didn't know that. And okay, he just got an ad. Okay, I was wondering what that did. I'm so sorry. It literally like highlights. It's like, hey, push this button, please push this button. So I'm like, okay, let me see what this does, because it was like it showed up in everybody's like thing the other day. It's something new that YouTube did. So
I knew Dylan enough. He never had cash in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So they waited for a few days and thought the check would be in his, in his pocket or his trailer or his truck or something. And that wasn't the way Dylan operated. That check went to tractor payments. And he even told me that. My God, this is going to kind of almost put me on another level right now, because I can make.
So this is a mine right here. Thank you so much, Darlene, for the $20. You're so awesome. Canadian $20. Is that what that is? The CA? Is that Canadian $20? I always kind of wondered that. Thank you so much, Darlene. You're so awesome. Yeah, this is some kind of mine. It actually was closed off. There's like a little house by there. I don't think you'd be in that mine. I mean, you never know, but it's really kind of tough to get up there. But we just kind of wanted to check it out just to see.
My tractor payments. I can catch up my insurance. I can catch up on my truck payment, my insurance on my truck. He goes, this is it, but he's like, it's like a penny compared to what I owe.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I knew the kid was way stretched out because I see all the stuff he had. I was like, I don't know how he's doing it. I really don't know how he's doing it, but.
So you believe it's about the money?
Yeah, well, it was greed. The tweakers want to kill my ass. I know that. I see them following me around every day. I'm like, you bastards. I followed you around. Now you're following me around because they want to kill my ass because I've sold their asses out. And I just pray to God when this all comes to a head and we find Dylan that the fucking FBI will come in here and in the.
Can you guys hear Kurt okay?
Okay, and then I kind of space out each of the things, and like I said, I've got a link to his channel. So, oh yeah, I did it. I couldn't get them all, Jamie. I actually this time I just edited most of them out because there's just no way. I mean, I know we're all adults, but honestly, I have to kind of do that.
I feel sorry for I got writing down there.
I kind of have to do that because YouTube will get mad and like they won't promote the video because if there's a lot of bad language and stuff, it's not good for the channel.
There's like 20 widows out here. After this 36-year-old kid got rolled for $480 of his money.
Okay, so this is interesting. He's talking about a past tense, something that happened to a kid. Did you go up Green Rock Canyon Road in Park Valley? We did not. Our plans had to get changed. We had to improvise. Usually we have a game plan when we go out there. I mean, we had a game plan, obviously, but we had to kind of evolve it a little bit because, one, the weather, even though there was an 8% chance it was going to rain, we hit that 8%. And the wind just all of a sudden, the wind was supposed to be very chill. It ended up picking up really bad. That's what kind of caused the drone to go into the tree. And so, but no, yeah, so we did not go up that road, unfortunately, but I'll have to write it down.
One night, and I'm pretty sure Chase and Avala's done that to this kid. The kid scared him so bad, he left here, and he needed some money. I gave him $400 of my cash, and he left a trailer sitting on my place that has a generator, as much shit on it. And because he didn't need it, so I don't need it. Can I park it? I was, yeah, I'll hold it for you too when you come back, dude.
So he's talking about somebody that, another kid that ended up getting like robbed for a little over $400, and unfortunately, I think the kid's fine. He just got robbed, but it just goes to show that, you know, if they there's people out there. I mean, that happens everywhere. So, but obviously with the smaller town, people talk, and you know, somebody gets 30,000. I see probably there's a lot of people, you know, people learn of it. Annie, are you okay? I love that song. Great work. Thank you so much for the $20. Annie, are you okay? Oh, that's funny. I love the name. Great work. Thank you so much for the $20. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what he's kind of talking about, is this kid that he kind of helped out.
But you know, that was never even reported. It was, I mean, the sheriff come out here. I mean, an asshole called Stevens come out here and talked to this kid for 20 minutes. The guy, there's something wrong with this program out here. With the sheriff's department, there's something wrong with it. Because this kid told his story to the sheriff, and nothing happened. Not a damn. The sheriff rolled away down the highway, and never. I told this kid. I said, they're gonna put you in the truck. They're gonna take you up there. They're gonna say, where's this place at? They're gonna go up there. They're gonna take pictures of your travel trailer. Your windows are broke out of, and kind of figure out and look at tracks, because it'd been like, he said it was like 4 days because they hit him in the head with something, and he said, I didn't know who I was for 4 days. And all started to come back to me. I had a concussion. Started to come back. What happened? They had a light shine in my eyes.
Oh, happy birthday. It's your birthday? Is it Lisa's birthday? That's awesome. Happy birthday to you.
And they were asking my wallet. And they told me they had a gun to my head. And if I didn't, you know, cooperate, if I tried to, you know, to protect myself, I was going to die. And the kid just went along. But that's not Dylan. Dylan's not like that. So I have to think the same thing happened to Dylan. Dylan said, fuck you. They wanted to roll him for money, and Dylan's a little cocky bastard. Like, no, you're not getting my money. And that's where Dylan went wrong. He said, I'll give you everything you want, dude. Let's go. But Dylan being 19, he just didn't get it. Mm-hmm. So he made another amongst bad decisions that I know about 5 that he made in my time knowing Dylan. Bad decisions that cost him a lot of money. And this might have cost him his life. Sad to say, but that's where it's at. And I pray to God Dylan's still alive. I really think he is, but I just can't go to think the kid's dead. When I think that, I lose it. I fucking lose it. I want that kid to come back.
See, so yeah, listen to him the way he kind of breaks down. I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of tough. I mean, yes, there's great actors, but man, this is not the first time that he basically breaks down talking about Dylan. So that's why, I mean, you know, whether I'm starting to lean. I don't think they had a relationship. But as far as him caring and him actually having anything to do with it, I don't think so. I really think you know, the 2 that are incarcerated know something for sure, and maybe a third person. But that's just my opinion. I
just wanted to come back and take care of his farm and be who a lot of people expect him to do a lot of work.
So apparently the phone cuts out and he's got to call back or something, but it is interesting. Let me see where we're at. So a lot of you think he still had something to do with it. So we're at about 70-30, with about almost 600 votes. So
We got to find somebody else to fill Dylan's spot, which is not easy because the kid was a hard-working little shit. He wanted to prove himself here, and he had the equipment to do it with, but Dylan's not here to run this equipment. Sad to say.
Charmed Warrior said, "Good evening, Kurt."
Who's that?
Charmed Warrior.
I don't know who that is, but
Oh, yeah, you don't know none of these people. They're just sharing their message to you.
okay, well, I appreciate it.
There is a question though from Badger Life. I think no, Deborah. Kurt, what's your opinion of Dylan's mom, Candace? Did she really even know him?
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
And let's not bash on Candace.
2 weeks before he came up missing, one night we were in here, he's eating pizza, cooking his own pizza. I just asked my dude, what's with your parents? You've never said anything about your parents. And I always thought of Dylan was like a 35-year-old, you know? That's the way he acted to me with all, what he had. And, I never thought him a 19-year-old, but I said, no, I don't talk to my parents much. I only talk to them when I have to over a birthday of my brother, my sister, something. I talk to them a little bit. Other than that, I don't talk to them. And that's where it went. That was the end of the conversation.
So just a little context of where we're at. And I kind of split it up so we get to see all sorts of stuff. So this probably goes on for maybe another minute or so. But I kind of show all the different locations that we went to. So it's not just the same thing. So like I said, this probably goes about another minute. And then I switch to, because we went to six different locations, which usually we do 3 or 4 at tops. So yeah, we went to 6 locations plus the 7th where we actually flew the drone, like just kind of a last, we still had battery, so we just kind of flew crossing the road on Highway 30, just checking if there was anything that maybe piqued our interest. But yeah, so there's multiple places we went. This one's just at the mouth of Bovine Mountains. I'm not sure this one's up the road from the main intersection of Park Valley, but I'm not sure the road's name.
Never went any further than that. So when they showed up out here,
No, Deborah, I'm not saying you're bashing. I was saying I'm not here to bash anybody. This ain't a bashing channel.
His mother, I never shook her hand. She just wanted to use the bathroom in the South Circuit. She wanted, where's the bathroom? I'm right here. And I said, Dylan slept a few times in this pool table right here, and he stayed on that motorhome out there 50 times. And it meant nothing. She didn't even care about that. I'm like, I couldn't believe she really? My kids slept on this pool table? Like, how many times? Oh, like about 5 times. Because it was cold out in the motorhome when he came. And I said, bring your bedroll in out from out there, put it right here. It's warm in here, and go to sleep, And he did. Maybe 4 or 5 times he did that. The rest of the time he slept out in the motorhome, my motorhome out here. But, she thought nothing of that. She didn't say, well, thank you for taking care of my boy like that. I appreciate that. Because they knew.
I'm sure she was just probably scatterbrained and, probably just had her eyes set on a target, and she's just, work. Justin might have been a little bit more, the father was a little more laid back, relaxed, talked, because Justin, what we'll learn in the interview is kind of more laid back, and he talked to the town people. He kind of hung out with Kurt, learned as much as he could. The mother was just kind of, had her sights set on something clearly and was set on doing that. That's kind of what it sounds like. So now we move on to our next spot. This one's kind of interesting. We found some interesting spots that you could maybe dump a body. And this one's a little bit closer to Lucin. Still, we're still like 20, 30 miles, but I think this is probably the closest we've ever gotten since they said no, going out to Lucin or whatever, no going where the investigation's at. But I would say this is this particular area we went. So like I said, we were up here that first time. I think this was the one. Actually, no, it was this mouth. Actually, because we went up. We wanted to go up into this one, but unfortunately we had to go down and go up into this one here. Then we went south. We went past Rosetta, and that's when we hit the storm. But so as you can kind of see where we're at, here's kind of the radius. So we went up somewhere about here, And we were trying to look for this wash here. It's not as big as it used to be, but we thought, you know, it's easy. You could just, there's plenty of little roads that you can pull off and, you know, throw something out after 10, 20 yards.
His living conditions out there. This is like, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 days into this, I called him Montello. That's the first time I really got to meet his mother. I met Justin. He gave me his number. We traded numbers and shit, but I never knew her number. Didn't know her number from. She was distant from me. I never got to meet her. I'd shake her hand, and she'd come and use the bathroom, went out the door. She didn't say, Kurt, can we sit down and talk for a minute? So what about my boy sleeping on the pool table? What about sleeping in the motorhome out there?
So he wasn't sleeping on the pool table. He wasn't sleeping on the pool table. He was sleeping in the motorhome. Because sometimes people will twist your words up, and they'll be like, Kurt said he was sleeping on the pool table.
He did a few times because it was cold out there. He said, he'd come in and said, man, it's cold out there. This isn't, you know, like, I don't know. It was October, November, something. It was cold. And he turned the heat on there. He said, it's going to take a long time to warm that up. I'm like, dude, just shut the heater off out there. Just sleep on the pool table. Mm-hmm. And I said, you got to bring your bedding in, though. And he'd bring the fucking cushion from out there and the bedding in and throw it on the pool table. Just say, about 5 times that happened. It was just, because he'd come out at odd hours.
So, yeah, I kind of paused it there. Usually if I do that, it's because he kind of goes off on a tangent. Kurt loves to talk. If you listen to these full interviews, if you want to listen to the full interview, I've got the link in the description. It's to Salty Pancakes YouTube channel. So obviously I got to shout him out for the interview. I've been picking interviews from all different YouTube channels. We did Zop Girl. I can't think the other one that I did, but then of course we've got Salty. But I think it's just interesting because honestly, in my opinion, just from all the research that I've done, and I know there's people that have probably done a lot more research than I, because there's so many interviews that I just can't keep up with everything, because especially when we go out there, it puts us really behind. But sounds like Kurt's the one that knew Dylan. You know, it was kind of like, you know, whether it's a relationship or not, it sounded like it. You know, Dylan and Kurt knew Dylan the best. And so he knew Dylan's routine. So he's the person, honestly, it sounds to me like he's the person to talk to. He's going to know the most, honestly. So here, like I said, so this is just a slightly zoomed in. No, we did not come across any caves this time. We weren't set up. So we weren't sure what we would find as far as the entrance to this end. So to get up to these peaks, so to like really get up to this higher area of Bovine Mountains, the proper way is to actually go up Highway 30, take this 42, and then come in. So you'd actually go into Idaho, because this is the border right here. You'll go into Idaho, and then you would actually come in the back way. And that's like the proper way to actually get up in there. Actually, I think you actually come around up past Yost, or I think that's how you pronounce it, Yost. And there's actually this road, I think, is the one, or it's this one here. I think there's a couple of them, but these are a lot easier to get up. And the ones that we saw for these, they're pretty, I mean, you need some off-terrain, you know, some ATVs or some kind of thing to actually get up into these. At least the ones that we checked up here. So there are caves up here, but to really get up there, at least these ones in here, you would have to actually go through like private property, a lot of them. So I don't think, at least in some of these canyons or Little Mouse, I don't think they would have dropped them any, you know, he still could have been up a mine, but I just don't think they would have risked going all the way up into Idaho and then coming around and dumping it. Not to say it couldn't happen, but yeah. So we didn't run into any mines that we could actually get to that weren't like crazy, you know, like hike and 4-wheel. So.
And he appreciated that. I know he never ever said it. He never said it one time. I appreciate your hospitality. He never ever said it, but I know in his heart he did.
Okay, Kurt. Hey, I got a question for you. Deborah wants to ask a question, and let's use this time to ask Kurt a question. Let's not just let him rumble or mumble or talk about this, that, and the other. If you have a question, let's ask him.
About Dylan. I'm telling you about Dylan that I know. We're trying to find this kid. I'm telling you his characteristics.
Yeah, that's in here. Thank you, Dina. Yeah, that's in here in this interview. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's like, oh, wow. About the phone. I don't know how much we can rely on that. I definitely believe the key fob and the gun thing for sure. The phone, it would be interesting if that is in their hands.
And who he was and who I am. And that doesn't seem to matter. We're going to talk about. So what's the question? I want to hear this fucking question.
No, the shit. People have a question, and I just want to help them answer. There's one question says, can Kurt clear the air on why the saddle sore is only open once a month as per rumors?
Is that going to find Dylan?
No, it doesn't find Dylan, but it kind of helps them put puzzle pieces together, and it helps dissolve rumors from other channels. You know what I mean?
Well, what's the question again? My God almighty.
Can Kurt clear the air on why the saddle sore is only open once a month, as per rumors?
That's not true. My mother is the one that opens the saddle sore. My mother, I don't know what's happened to her, but this is her bar. It's been her bar forever. So
apparently the saddle sore bar, because you've got saddle sore bar and the cowboy bar, like almost right next to each other, which is weird because you got like 2 bars in the smallest town ever, Montello. But apparently everybody goes to the cowboy bar. So honestly, it's like, he'll talk about it a little bit, but I don't think I kind of cut out some of the stuff. But yeah, so you got the 2 bars, but really everybody kind of goes and hangs out at the cowboy. So they don't always open up the saddle sore as much.
I don't know. For some reason, she just got used to being at the cowboy because that's where the traffic's at down there. She loves. Everybody comes to the cowboy, right? And when she opens this place, there might be, she only opens it one day a week when the guy that owns the machines in here, the guy that owns the slot machines, he comes like on Wednesdays or Thursdays, right? And she opens the bar to make it look good, right? Mm-hmm. She's here. The bar's open. Blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. The guy, he knows better. He can see when these machines get played once a fucking week. He's not stupid. But anyway, my mother plays that fucking game with him. It's all about trying to keep the doors open. He doesn't want to.
Okay, sorry. This was processing while I was making this. This is why it's all kind of disappointed. This is all in 4K, but unfortunately there was some processing. This is definitely shouldn't be looking like this. Should be like crisp and everything. I think that's because I was trying to get everything clogged, everything put together, and I think I put a little too much together. So let me skip this a little bit here.
Ways into the program.
Everything I've got is in 4K, and we've clearly got compression here. So I think it's. Sometimes that happens when I put these videos together. It's just part of using these programs. They're not the best, and sometimes you get these compression. It should be all 4K, but it looks like it kind of came out.
Lazy. He didn't mind walking around his own property and digging holes and shit, checking roots on his crop and stuff like that. But as far as him exploring, he knew nothing about this country. Nothing. He was a farmer. All he cared about is where there's a root in the ground, he wanted to dig it up and look at it and play with it and take a soil sample or something. Why that root don't look good? I got to figure that out. That's Dylan. He wanted to be an expert freaking farmer.
So he was interested in working. He didn't want to go walk around and explore the land.
Hell no. If Dylan could have went with me. I invited him several times to go with me and my kids to ride in the mountains and at least see something other than the flat land of Montello, going in the mountains. But he never but Dylan was busy. He Dylan.
Yeah, that's how it should look. This is how it should look. Like I said, it should all be 4K. I don't know why that compressed or that did not come out really good. This spot was very interesting because it's part of it's. I mean, I'm sure this is some kind of somebody owns this part of land. Clearly, this is some kind of like little dump. But this was an interesting spot. So this area that we're gonna fly over is. Now, this is just kind of a guess here. Let's see here. So, this would be somewhere around this area, maybe a little more south, but it's definitely on Highway 30 along this area on the right side here. Thought it was up a little bit more. Let me take a look at it. It might have been actually up this way. But anyway, so in this general area on the right side, but very easily you could just, like I said, pull over.
Dylan, it was like his life
and just dump something off.
He ran around farming. He didn't have time to go play. That's why he said weekends mean nothing to me. And I said, dude, I don't mean nothing to me unless my kids come. And that, what's really sad is the weekend that I would have been with him on this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, but my daughter came with 10 other people. I would have been with Dylan. We would have been working out there. This would have never happened. And it's like a double-edged sword. To me, I'm thinking, my God, this would have never happened to him if I would have been with him. And it makes me cry when I think about it. I'm like, how did this happen? How did the timing go this bad that I'm away from him for 3 or 4 days? He was here every day from Wednesday through Friday. He was here every damn day. He stopped here and talked to me. So only Saturday and Sunday and Monday did I not know where Dylan was at.
So yeah, obviously, if you got property out in the desert, you don't have, your garbage man coming by every week to pick up your garbage. So, and everybody has garbage. So, because I've seen a lot of comments like people are trashing the desert. Well, honestly, this is about the best way to handle it is to make, a nice ditch. And, that's what we do with our big garbage, yards is we have a place that we put it and then bury it. So this is kind of the concept. But what's interesting is this is just like I said, right off Highway 30. This is probably 30 yards from Highway 30, in between Lucin and Rosetta.
Nicole Parrish said, Kurt, don't put too much blame on yourself.
I have to. I mean, if not, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Because my daughter would have came, I would have been with Dylan. And I have to think this would have been all different. I don't know what happened to him. I really don't. I got my theories. But I don't know for sure what happened to him. It pisses me off that I can't figure it out. But Dylan,
a lot of us can't figure it out, Kurt.
For me in his life, I didn't know because I'm finding that out through,
Ricky, Lynn, I know there's a lot of people that are not convinced that what Kurt's saying is true, and that's fine. I think we're all Team Dylan here, but we may not be on the same page as who we think. Who Kurt really is. Honestly, like I said, the more I listen, the more, I was, suspicious of him, but the more I listen to these interviews, and then kind of what's came out as far as who's been arrested and who's been kind of, I really think it's, Jim, Chase, and maybe a third party, in my opinion. But, has this dump area been checked? Yeah, we checked it. Not like, obviously we're not going to fiddle through it or anything. Obviously it's probably, you can get to it, but sometimes we don't know exactly, obviously we don't go on anybody's land if it's gated or anything, and we try not to fly over private property. But there's certain areas that I'm sure that you can get access to, but it's probably somebody's property. They just haven't been there for years. And this is probably what happened here. But yes, we did kind of check it out without really, like I said, we we know not to really touch anything, so it's kind of hard when you got a garbage pile because you don't want to touch anything.
Listen to other PI. He's finding. He claims, Dylan had a lover from Canada came here. I'm like, well, maybe.
And then let me just emphasize that everything that we get, obviously, we send right over to search and rescue. Actually, I send everything to them first, and then I review anything that I'm going to play for you guys just to make sure we're not flying over something that's disturbing, if you know what I mean. So, but there, we could always miss something, and fly over a clue that might help out.
I don't know. I can't imagine. So that happened the first time I was away from Dylan. That happened. Because I never detected Dylan was gay. He never put a move on me. Never. And if he would have made any moves on me to make.
Sorry, I had to cut that out because he starts talking about stuff that we don't need to be talking about. But yeah, this area, like I said, this is interesting. Another area that just kind of caught our eye. Like I said, we kind of had to improvise. So, like I said, we went out with a game plan. There was only supposed to be 8% rain. When we got out there, it was fine. The first stop was fine. Then when we got to our second stop is when the storm came through. The barrels that I could check, no, there was nothing in the barrels. They were empty except for like rainwater and stuff. Only the ones that I could like see in or stuff. But like I said, everything, gets sent over to search and rescue, and then obviously they're in contact with box elders. So if there's something that they need to point out, and then obviously everything that we send over, they know exactly where the location is, because that's what's cool about the drone is with that app that we have, it's all GPS, so they know exactly where we're flying over. But yeah. Oh, yeah, so like I said, we did kind of get sidetracked because there was a storm that passed through. So we couldn't go to the place that we wanted, so this was actually kind of an improvised spot. We were just like driving by, saw that big like trash pile, and thought, oh my gosh, it's kind of interesting. Let's check it out, while we're waiting for the storm, which it did pass by for the most part fairly fast, but it did keep the wind up and stuff. And so it was a little tough.
Find a real woman. And I said, Dylan, that's where we're going to find a real woman if you want one in the Philippines, because they're different here. Way different. He goes, well, I'm thinking about it, because, Wendy she loves the hell out of him. She's like, dude, we love Kurt, and Kurt's got a lot of wives, and if you want a real woman, you got to come here.
Kurt, why do you have a lot of wives in the Philippines? I don't even know this question, this answer.
Okay, go on.
Why do you have so many wives in the Philippines?
So we're back to what? Next question?
Yeah, next question. Kurt, do you think Jim would hurt Dylan? Did they have an issue with the fence?
Yes, they did. That's for sure. But I never would dream that Jim could actually clip Dylan over the fence or even parking his truck in that shed down, right? But in a way, I guess I didn't know Jim that well. But I didn't know his past. I didn't. He lived with me for a year on my property. And I bought him a horse. He wanted a horse because he said, I don't want vehicles, I want a horse. So I bought him a horse, and he paid me for it eventually. He paid it out, a $1,000 horse, and took it out there. And I was wondering why he left. One day, Don came and picked his ass up, the horse in the horse trailer. They went away. One day, all of a sudden, he's going away off my property. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because he was kind of a watchdog for me at the point. And all of a sudden, they're going out the gate. I'm like, what the hell? But I figured it out because he had beat up Billy. I don't know Billy's last name. But he beat up this young kid, like, the kid's probably about 35, over a wood-burning stove Jim thought he should have this stove, and he got another piece of shit, and he was pissed about it. So he beat Billy up at the store one day. He caught him at the store, and he beat his ass. Well, he didn't beat his ass. Jim broke his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And Don had to pick him up and he went right to Elko because his foot was turned backwards. One foot, I don't know, right foot, left, I don't know, but his foot was actually turned backwards, Don said. I'm like, wow, oh my gosh. Yeah, we took him to Elko and he was on surgery for 3 or 4 hours and said, you're fucking never going to be the same. You probably won't walk that well. But that, Jim says, like a year later, Jim said, I owe Billy a beer. He done me a favor because he got my Social Security, or not my D, what do you call it? Not Social Security, but because Jim wasn't qualified. The guy's only 62 or something. I don't know. But he got a disability. He was always seeking disability on Social Security. And he said, that kid done me a favor by kicking my ass. I go, well, good for you, Jim. Well, he said, yeah, I owe him a beer. I'm going to buy him a beer next time I see him. So that was Jim.
So I got a question from True Crime Utah.
Weird.
She wants to know if you are related to the late Grant Wadsworth, who was a polygamist in Salt Lake City.
I have to think so. Because there was only 2 brothers. My grandma had a book. There was 2 brothers came from England here. 2 brother, Wadsworth brothers. And one went one way and one went the other. And we're related, and I'm not sure what that question
Okay, so I'm going to skip it forward a little bit.
is, but I might recognize it when I hear it. That's important, yeah.
I think they're just trying to get in tuned with Dylan's life, what he was, who he was, his daily actions and what he was farming and Badger Life has
I guess, and I knew Dylan better than anybody.
Badger Life has a good question for you, Dylan.
Dylan
Kurt.
was here. I mean, when spring broke, he was here constantly, and Don kind of bowed out of the picture. He didn't get fired. Don never got fired. That's all bullshit from the pits of hell.
Yeah, that's interesting, because we've heard that he was fired. They had a disagreement about some kind of washer or something, but Don didn't care because he had money. He's like, that's fine. I just want to go fishing. But it is weird because you have a 19-year-old that's the guy that's kind of like when somebody needs something done out there, it's Dylan who sends these guys out there, which is, you would think it'd be the other way around. That, you got an adult who sends out these young bucks out there to, these greenhorns to go and fix and help out, but it was the other way around. You had Dylan, so you can obviously tell that Dylan was way ahead of his time, and that I could definitely see where he could rub some people the wrong way and be kind of cocky and everything.
Yeah, he just said, I just want to go fishing. I'm tired of tearing my vehicles down, running around for you, Dylan, and it was and I get it because I know what happened out there. Because Dylan was working on a washing machine he got from his mother. It was a piece of shit. Something was wrong with it. But Dylan was trying to get it to work. But
he wasn't saying Candace is a piece of shit. He's saying the washer was a piece of shit.
They were working on a project way more important than that fucking washing machine. And that's what Dylan done that a couple times. And I got on his ass. I said, what the fuck are you doing? He walked away. I'm down there digging up a main line, right? And he'd walk away and go down to his trailer, and I'd go down, Dylan, what are you doing? You're supposed to be down here helping me. And he was down there watering fucking weeds. I said, what the fuck are you doing? Well, I'm watering my plants. I'm like, never time to do this shit. It's your job, not my job. Oh, you're supposed to hire somebody. No, I can't find nobody.
Okay, since we played that interview with the mother at the beginning, I'm going to skip to the part where he talks about the key fob and everything. I think that's really important information, if it is true that the key fob in the gun was found the whole was there the whole entire time.
But my puzzle is way beyond their puzzle. They're wasting their time. My pieces are like, I got 3 to go, approximately 3 to go. The puzzle's put together. We're going to find Dylan. So they're off in the other part.
Did Dylan carry around his gun for
Okay, so here it is. This is where they talk about it. This is interesting.
protection ever at all?
No.
So he never carried his gun on him.
No, he didn't have a holster for it. He only got that for Christmas from his dad. And he always, when he slept here or slept in that motorhome out there, he always had a gun. He always brought it inside and laid it on the counter in here or out there with the clip out of it.
And was that gun?
This interview is like 4 hours, I think. I only took 25 minutes of it. And I'm only really playing like 20 minutes of it.
Never found? I think that's the biggest question everyone wants to ask.
As I know it was. I asked that question a long time ago. Yes, his dad.
Okay, so this is where we changed up and went up the second canyon. Or not, it's not really canyon. I'm used to saying canyon, but it's at the mouth of Bovine. So we went up one here, and then I think, it's just kind of hot. I had to kind of go back and look, but it was one of these. I think it was probably this one here, where we go up another one just to kind of scope, like, because like I said, you can go up so far in some of these, and then some are actually where people like to go and hunt, so it's kind of gated off. So if you see us like going into certain areas that are gated off, usually it's not private property. It's just because they put a gate up because they want to let you know, so you read that sign saying, hey, you're going into an area where, you know, during hunting season people are going to be out there hunting. So, you know, you just don't want to be trekking up some area and not knowing that you got hunters out there. So yep, that's,
so his dad did find the gun
and his camper under a bunch of laundry.
And is that?
And so this is actually, and I'm speaking over the most important thing. So let me back this up, because this is where he talks about the gun and the fob, which I think is very interesting.
That's the biggest question everyone wants to ask.
As I know it was. I asked that question a long time ago. Yes, his dad found it.
So his dad did find the gun.
And his camper under a bunch of laundry.
And is that his camper that's been shown around the pictures?
For sure.
Okay. I'm sure most of you have seen the pictures of the camper, but just in case, if you haven't, let's see, it's in this one. It's an update. Let's see, where did, okay, here it is. And that is this one here. So those are pictures. I'm sure most of you seen them, but if you're new, this was the picture of the inside of the trailer, apparently. And quite pretty dirty. Looks like it had been kind of rummaged through, but he said that is kind of how Dylan, I mean, it's just dirty teenagers. So nothing too suspicious, although the cupboards are kind of, look like they've been kind of pilferaged.
Inside is Dylan's camper.
For sure.
And that is the way he left it, or?
They might have scrambled through shit out there. They did. They were trying to find his key fob and his gun. They scrambled through his trailer. So they didn't put shit back. They might have made it more of a mess than it probably was, I have to think. Because Dylan's gone. They're trying to find his key fob and his pistol. So they're scrambling through all the shit, and they missed both of them. From what I understand, Don told me the key fob was laying on the table, which is...
See, I don't know how you missed that, because the key fob, and he's saying it's a big key fob, like bigger than the one that I have. He's saying, I mean, there could be some pretty big key fobs, but I think every time I want to talk about key fob, I don't have my key fob near me. I swear, then when I'm off air, I do have it by me. But the key fob is not the key. It's the, where you hit like the alarm or lock your car. It's a little. Trying to think of something that's about the size. It's actually probably. I mean, I've seen some that are. I mean, a lot of times they float up, but like about like this size. It's probably about the size of a key fob. Some that sounds like the one that he had, which is kind of a little bit bigger than the usual ones. But what's interesting about that key fob is that you could start the car, lock it, unlock it, sound the alarm, and if someone were to take off with that vehicle, let's say they started it, but they didn't take that key fob with them. So this is what's interesting, is I would love to know where they found that key fob, if it is a place that he would actually, let's say if it's just a place they like Dylan would normally leave his key fob. That'd be really interesting, because that would almost certainly mean that no one ever took that truck anywhere, because they couldn't go within, a certain range without that truck just killing. The truck engine would die. It would shut off, because you'd have to have the key fob near it. So it is interesting. But so he's saying that the key fob and gun is there, and then they're saying that the wallet, or not the wallet, the cell phone has been picked up by the FBI. So it really leaves Dylan's wallet and Dylan. So that narrows down a lot of things as far as that could be missing.
That blows my mind that they could not see, because there was no keys to his truck. It was a key fob. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
It's not a key. It's a goddamn big fucking thing you can't put in your pocket. It's too big for your pocket. He didn't pack it around. He always hide it somewhere. He'd throw it on the table.
Oh yeah.
He said, he told me one time, I said, you lock your truck? No, I got my pistol. That's all I care about, my pistol. If they want to start my truck to take it, they're going to go down the road about 150 feet and it's going to shut off. And it's going to stop. I said, why? He goes, I got the key fob right here. I said, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Shit, I didn't know that. He goes, oh yeah, I know that about my truck. They can steal my truck. They can go push the button. It'll start.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm wondering. I'm like, was it in a place that they would normally toss it, or was it in a place that was kind of, But I guess, how many people would know that where he kept his key fob? Obviously, like, maybe Kurt and a few others, like Don and Jim. So if they were behind it, obviously, then maybe, yeah, they would. If they did take the truck, they would just dump it off where it normally would be. Maybe kind of put it under some clothes.
Within a distance of that key fob, it'll start, but they're not going to get very far. And he said, I don't wish that would happen, because I want to catch some of these assholes you're talking about out here that think they want to come.
No, the only person obviously would be Aiden Clune, but that's not. I highly think they're unrelated. He did go missing a month before Dylan, but he was from California and he was actually just coming out here, so it's not like he lived out in Nevada close to Montello and went missing a month prior. So that's the only really person that's been missing. Other than that, I think what adds up is all the little, and we kind of did a little thing last week where, thanks to Valley to the Bay, kind of just sometimes what can happen in that small town where just, it's a small town, people talk, and, Dylan got a hold of some money, and then, of course, we learned earlier that, a poor 36-year-old kid, that's how he says it, got, robbed because they heard he had $400 or something like that, so, which is sad. It's these people that are addicted and they need their fix, and they'll do just about anything, which is kind of the group that Robert falls in, Robert Avilius, who is good friends with Chase.
In the trunk of a car, they're trying to figure out, we see Nevada and we see Utah. Because I know this little fucker been out there. That's
and there's some moo-moos.
The word that got back to me, and then
they're probably like, "What is going on?" And this is the spot that Nick sadly crashed the drone.
So I called them. I called Jess, and I said, "How's it going out there?" He goes, "We're kind of dead end road. We don't know what to do. We don't know what direction to go." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm telling you right now, I got word by way of a psychic that Dylan's most likely alive. He's being held hostage. And it could be right here in this town. Because the little fucker that took Chase, we all suspect he did this, who's behind it. This little bastard lives in town with his mother, And the word is there's a male and a female involved holding hostage, so it could be right in this town. I don't know. We got to roll on it and check it out. But he came rolling in here at 100 miles an hour by him, you know.
Hold on, guys, with your questions. I'll get to them. Sometimes you gotta let Kurt talk.
And he said, where are they at? I'm going to go kill them all. I said, what the hell, dude? No, we can't do that. That's not going to work. My God, we got to go over there like church mouse and go over there and talk to him nice and find out what's going on over there. Just talk to this kid like we're nice to him, and he'll tell us.
Okay, so let's see. We started at 5:30. So I'm going to skip this a little bit ahead. I'm going to play this little part, though.
We're talking about maybe 12 hours away. Dude.
We're gonna talk.
Yeah, there's definitely some tough areas to search. I did some ground search as always.
35 miles away.
When we go out there, Nick is flying. I'm walking, boots on ground, checking things. I usually check kind of the washes and stuff that we come across.
I'm going to send Dawn there. That's a good idea. Go by. And she sent Dawn down there. And Dawn went down there and reported to her that, everything looks good around here, but I'm calling Dylan's name, and I don't know. He's not around. He's not answering. He's out in the field, I'm calling his name. It's quiet out here. Nothing's running, and he ain't answering me, but I don't know what to tell you. So he went back home, and a few hours later, he went back, and she called him again. Evidently, I don't know this for sure, but I think she called him again and got him excited about going back. So he went and picked up Jim at that point. And him and Jim both rolled out there at that point. And they done their thing and said, well, and the word is, I don't know if this actually happened. The word is that they said, oh, don't worry about it. He's fine. He's going to be fine. We'll find him. Which is kind of a weird thing to say, where they didn't know where in the hell he was at. That they rolled out there twice and they couldn't find any sign of his ass. That why they would say that's a little weird, but that's the word I've got. Where that, I don't know where it came from. But anyway, so we gotta move on. I'm telling you what I know, but it's only what I know, but it can't be facts for sure. It's just.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I know this guy apparently has had a few beers, from what I understand.
What I know.
Kurt said if someone hurt Dylan, it could have been the motive. Probably could have been money.
Oh, guarantee it was money. I guarantee that, because it's just weird that he got this $33,000 check and.
Yeah, the timing of that is definitely suspicious for sure. They think here in just a minute is when Nick is going to unfortunately crash the drill and almost crush our hopes. And this was actually our first spot that we went to. Was it the first spot? First or second? No, the second spot we went to, actually. So, unfortunately, the wind was blowing. And
that was on a Tuesday, and on Saturday.
The two things that went wrong, and we'll see here in just a minute, but the wind was blowing, and he didn't realize he was actually going up, because this is our first time we've actually gone towards, flying around, a hill, or a mountain, and, some kind of steep incline like this. So we're just used to working with flat and washes, and just not having to worry about things. And unfortunately, with the wind and everything, it just caught it just right when he was kind of scanning a certain area, and we'll see it here in just a minute.
He's missing. It was about the money. Somebody heard about the monies when he's supposed to come up missing. I never talked to Dylan. Oh wait, or whatever, right? Or I can't come, whatever. But he never called me, and I'm thinking the reason he didn't call me because somebody else. So somebody offered him a ride.
So, like I said, this interview was Salty Pancakes. If you want to see the whole interview, it's 4 hours, I think, and he's got another one. So, not to use his audio? Well, this is fair use, so... But I'll stop. I mean, I am shouting him out. This is fair use. He'll learn pretty soon what fair use is. But in respect to that, because of a fellow Utah, I will stop playing the audio part of it. But it is fair use. As long as you're commentating, do you think everybody would just be like, hey, don't play? I mean, people play my stuff. But as long as you're commentating over it, that's called fair use. So, but I'll be respectful. Yeah, I'm like, sorry, buddy, there's fair use. He can't copyright strike me. Sorry, buddy. Which is kind of crazy because I'm shouting him out and I'm actually giving him, sending him some people his way. I don't know why you would, he wants to get the truth out, but he wants to keep everything hush hush. Why interview? Anyway, I'm not gonna... He can't strike me, I promise you. He cannot strike me. Trust me. I've been doing this for a year. He just started YouTube. So, yeah, this is called fair use. This is... there's channels that literally review everybody else's footage. And I'm not even reviewing footage. I'm just chopped up audio. And this is only... 40 minutes of his 4 hours? Yes, this is fair use. But I'm going to be respectful because, like I said, which is weird because we're both in Utah. You'd think, hey, and I'm trying to shout him out, but I guess I just won't do that anymore. It's thought we were working to find Dylan. That's why I thought he would be cool with this. But I'm not going to assume anything. He was a drama-free channel. I'm drama-free, so we don't want that. So I'll be respectful, but so we'll kick this down here. I want to play one more thing from it, and then we'll be respectful of that, though. So there's one more thing.
That just hit me like 3 or 4 days ago. I'm like, that's the reason he didn't call me, because somebody offered him a raise. He didn't need to.
I guess I'll just have to call Kurt and get an interview if I want to do that, but I mean...
Call me at that point. He had the right. He wasn't going to walk that. I know better. He did not. He thought he might have to, but somebody offered him a ride or something happened along the way.
So yeah, Nick's getting a little right here.
Went down, followed him down to the grain, the undercover, and got him back on over. Take him back to his truck, back to his farm. It would have been over. I come back to town. I mean, that was simple. And we went riding.
There's one more thing in there. Is there some interesting info, like I said, that I dug? I was writing stuff down. I guess I should have wrote down the other stuff. I didn't think. Just thought a fellow Utah we'd all stick together and we'd try to solve this. But like I said, I don't want to piss anybody off, even though it is fair use and you can't.
Saturday, we were riding all day Saturday. But I still could have done that for him, but I never got the call.
So let me kick this down. We did do the interview with Candace, so it's kind of like, I usually try to keep it that hour and a half, but, so here is the infamous crash here coming up here in just a second, which, sadly, we got so lucky. I mean, so lucky. That when it crashed into the tree, that it got caught on the branch. I mean, because usually it would crash into the tree and then, it would fall like, 20 feet or 10, even 10, 15 feet would break. It would absolutely break the gimbal. So, oh yeah, I know I'm not doing anything wrong. It's fair use. Everybody uses everybody else's content. Clearly he just started YouTube yesterday. I've been doing it for a year. I've never been striked. I use people's content all the time. And I shout him out because that's how it works. And I figure, he's from Utah. He's from Orem. I mean, I figure he'd be, hey, cool. Another Utah going out there. But, it is what it is. And please don't send any hate or anything. Maybe there's a reason, but, Yeah, I've heard I'm not even gonna talk about him. It's cool. It's not even, it is what it is. So, anyway, this is we're coming up on the infamous crash here, and we got so lucky that it got caught up on this branch like it did. Oh, I knew I was gonna skip right to it when it happened. Okay, here it goes. So, there's me checking the wash and stuff. Got my camera out. I've got it kind of in slow. This is actually in slow motion. Obviously, as you guys see in the trailer, you've seen this. But like I said, Nick's not used to flying towards elevation. Oh, but it got caught on a branch. How lucky is that? And not to break the gimbal. I mean, if you break the gimbal, you're done. I mean, you're pretty much done. And yeah, all we lost was 2 propellers. And what's nice is you get extra propellers and no harm, no foul. So yeah. But and the nice thing is we were able to climb up the tree. It wasn't like a 10-15 foot tree that we couldn't climb up or didn't have any branches to go up. Yeah, so I can use the interview to be honest with you guys. I mean, I don't want to keep rehashing this of what's there's a thing called fair use. It's been out there for a very long time. There's literally reaction channels that literally take other people's content and you couldn't have reaction channels if all these other people started whining like, hey, don't use my stuff. It's not how it works. So, but that's okay. Like I said, I will be respectful though. I would just figure, we're trying to find Dylan. He would just want to get the information out there. And I figure, in my opinion, there's some information that Kurt said that's really, whether you like him or hate him, I still think he's got, like I said, he was the closest to Dylan. So, and yeah, maybe he's not being completely honest. But at the same time, I think from what I've heard, it's, I don't know, it sounds genuine to me. That's just my opinion. I know it sounds like there's a good percentage of you that are not convinced, and that's cool. But, we're all Team Dylan. That's what most matters most. And so, yeah, I mean, it is. I'm not going to try to toot my own horn. We're all Team Dylan, I'd hope. And, I thought I was shouting somebody out and a fellow Utahn. That's just trying to help out. So, anyway. Oh, yeah, you guys are wondering where that blue rock that I was finding out there? So, as you can see... Oh, you guys can't see it. Let me scoot this over just a little bit. About there. So, that blue quartz that they mine is right up there where we're at. Of course, so I go into this wash here. I think I actually go live right here. I've got to get a new phone. I think I kind of fried the circuits a little bit going live. But yeah, they had a bunch of piles of the blue quart over there. Oh, I really wanted to go over there, but it's private property. Where we're at is public, but obviously the mine right there, it's got the tailings, and so we don't want to. But I wanted to go take a handful of that blue quart because it's beautiful rock. Yeah, Caroline. Yeah, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn real quick. New YouTubers. What is blue quartz used for? Well, it's kind of funny because they were actually using that blue quartz to flatten some of the rough, rocky road. But that's a good question. I'm not sure exactly. I know I'm sure it's used for a lot of things. But yeah, I'll have to check it out. Let's see here. Because, yeah, we are kind of running in a little late because I did play the other interview. I'm trying to think if there was one more thing that I might play just real quick, but time. What did I started at the 30? Started 4:30 because I was gonna do 4:13. So yeah, we have gone almost 2 hours, which I usually try to not go more than an hour and a half, just so people can rewatch it without it getting too long. So yeah, let's end it there. And there's so much. I mean, oh my gosh, this was definitely our biggest operation yet, whatever you want to call it. We covered the most ground. You know, we did two of the mouths of the little canyons that are up in this here in Bovine. We checked out an area on Highway 30. We checked out an area over here on this side. Oh, we also scanned just for, you know, just to do it, but we actually flew the drone. So this is where approximately Highway 50, mile marker 53 is. So we kind of scanned with the drone 10 to 15 yards out with the drone while I was driving the car. So yeah, we kind of tried a couple of different things that we hadn't really tried before. And like I said, it's a needle in a haystack or a needle in the ocean, really. And clearly, from what the mother said in the interview, they still haven't found him. So, I mean, honest, I definitely think they found the scene or some kind of crime or some kind of evidence to suggest some kind of crime. I think that's what she's talking about in that interview. But maybe we'll dissect that interview some more. I guess I'll have to just listen to the interviews and then share it with you guys in a shortened down video. So that's what we'll do. But for those, please don't go anywhere. We've got new pets for the outro. So if you sent me pets recently, I've got them all plugged in. So now I've got 3 rotations now, pet videos. So we got a new pet video for the outro today. So I'm super stoked. I had time to do that. And thank you so much, Michelle. You're so awesome. And thank you so much for the mod. For modding and all the mods. Thank you so much for your time and hard work. And yeah, hey, shout out to Salty Pancakes. He did get the interview. Hope I didn't make him mad. I just think he would. I don't know. I guess you just can't assume things. But like I said, it's fair use. I'm not doing anything wrong. So, but I would just think he would be kind of okay with it. But he can't strike me. So anyway, guys, I love you guys, and our 1-year anniversary is this Sunday, so I'll probably have a short video, maybe do a live tomorrow, and then we're going to do like a 3 or 4 hour live on Sunday. Kind of show you where I started, show you my first YouTube video. It's always funny to look back at your first YouTube video, or first couple anyway, because yeah, it's pretty wild. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, and then we've got some interesting things coming up real soon. And we're gonna definitely have some more guests on as well. And thank you, Molly Drake. Oh, I love the new name. Molly Drake, Justice for Dylan Rounds. Thank you again for showing Christopher. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, it's something maybe I can look more into with Christopher Holverson. So, but yep. All right, guys. Intro's gonna come. Thank you, guys. Oh, did I miss anything? Anyway, I think we're all good. So, if I miss anyone's PayPal or anything, I will shut you out in the next video. So, all right. I love you guys. New outro video is 3, 2, 1. Love you guys.